You push for speed. You book the emergency meeting. You chase the quick win. Then the same problems show up again. Just louder. Faster meetings, worse decisions. Fire drills replace systems. Quality drops. Rework grows. And somehow nobody can explain why, because the real input stayed invisible. You are not moving faster. You are spinning faster. Speed is the trap. Moving to slide 2. Your dashboard is lying to you, not because the numbers are wrong, but because they are late. Revenue is a lagging score. It shows what your team did weeks or months ago, like pricing decisions, pipeline discipline, and whether the product actually solved a real job. Quality is a lagging score. It reflects how you scoped, reviewed, tested, and handed off, not how hard people tried at the end. Churn is a lagging score. It is the bill for a stretched support team, confusing onboarding, and promises sales made under pressure. Delivery is a lagging score. Dates slip when clarity is missing, dependencies are hidden, and approvals stall. Morale is a lagging score too. Burnout shows up after the workload has been unreasonable for a long time. So if you only manage outputs, you are always reacting to history. By the time revenue dips or defects spike, the behaviors that caused it are already baked into your process. The move is to manage what happens upstream, where outcomes are still changeable. Moving to slide 3. Outcomes come from inputs you can actually control. Start with decisions. Make them clear and make them early. If a decision is not made, work does not pause, it branches. 3 people build 3 versions, and you pay for all of them. Set scope boundaries that are real, not vague statements like, keep it simple, but explicit lines like, we are not supporting edge case X in this release. Then, protect priorities. Stable priorities do not mean never changing. They mean changes are deliberate, visible, and come with trade-offs. Every switch steals time twice, once to stop, once to restart. Clean handoffs matter more than heroic effort. Define what ready means before work moves to the next person. If your handoff is sloppy, tasks drop, details vanish, and the next step turns into a scavenger hunt. Finally, tighten feedback loops. Short cycles of review, testing, and customer signal prevent small misunderstandings from becoming expensive rework. When inputs are disciplined, outputs stop feeling random. Moving to slide 4. The hidden tax is what you pay when inputs are messy, and you rarely see it on a plan. Context switching is the obvious one. Every time you pull someone into a new thread, they lose momentum and rebuild mental state. Multiply that across a week, and your capacity becomes a fantasy. Unplanned work is the next leak. Support escalations, last-minute stakeholder requests, surprise compliance checks. Each one looks reasonable alone. Together they quietly inflate timelines and force your team to cut corners. Then, rework becomes normal, not because people are careless, but because ambiguity was allowed in at the start. Vague requirements, undefined success metrics, unclear ownership. Work gets done, then undone, then done again. Approval delays multiply the damage. When decisions and sign-offs queue up, engineers keep building without certainty, or they stall and wait. Either way, you pay, and ambiguity triggers churn inside the team too. People leave when the work feels like constant thrash, with no learning and no finish line. When you name these taxes, you can finally stop funding them. Moving to slide 5. Measure the real inputs, not just the final score. Track decision cycle time. How long does it take to get a binding yes or no on scope, priority, or trade-offs? Put limits on work in progress, so started does not become a graveyard of half-done tasks. Measure rework rate by source. Was it unclear specs, late stakeholder changes, bugs escaping review, or dependency surprises? Track block time per week, with categories like approvals, missing info, environment issues, and cross-team waits. Then add a simple spec clarity score before build starts, like a short checklist. Owner, success metric, non-goals, edge cases, and test plan. When you manage these inputs, speed becomes a byproduct of clarity. And once the noise is labeled, turning it into signal gets a lot easier. Moving to slide 6. Most teams are drowning in updates, tickets, chats, and spreadsheets. AI can turn that noise into signal if you point it at the right questions. Start by having it summarize work streams in plain language. What moved, what stalled, and what is waiting on whom. Then ask it to detect recurring blockers, like approvals, missing specs, or dependency handoffs. Have it cluster rework reasons so you can see patterns, like scope churn, unclear acceptance criteria, or late bug discovery. Use those patterns to forecast delivery risk, not as a crystal ball, but as an early warning when cycle time stretches or queues pile up. And when requests come in, have it flag what is unclear, with a short list of questions to resolve before work starts. When the data tells the same story every week, you can finally run the work instead of reacting to it. Moving to slide 7. Signal is useless if decisions still happen by accident. Build a decision engine that makes choices fast, explicit, and easy to revisit. Give every decision one owner, not a committee, not a shared box, one accountable person who gathers input and commits. Use simple decision templates you reuse. What is the decision? Options, trade-offs, who is impacted, and the date it expires. Tie deadlines to risk. If waiting costs you customer trust or blocks delivery, the decision date moves up. Keep a searchable decision log so nobody relitigates last month's call and new teammates can catch up in minutes. Finally, define an explicit escalation path. If the owner misses the deadline or stakeholders disagree, everyone knows exactly where it goes and how quickly. That is how you stop status talk from substituting for commitment. Moving to slide 8. If you want less politics, replace status with proof. Use async updates in a standard format, so reading takes minutes, not meetings. Lead with metrics over opinions. Cycle time, defect rate, throughput, customer impact. Use demos instead of slide decks whenever you can. Hold meetings only for exceptions, and have AI post a short summary before you sync, so the conversation starts at the decision point. When proof becomes the default, you can design constraints that protect momentum. Moving to slide 9. Constraints feel limiting, but they are how you ship. First, limit parallel projects. Pick fewer things and finish them, because context switching quietly taxes every hour you think you are saving. Freeze priorities weekly. You can still handle true emergencies, but you stop the daily reshuffle that turns planning into fiction. Define done upfront, in writing, with acceptance criteria you can test. That single step wipes out a huge chunk of rework. Guard focus time by making it a team norm, not an individual privilege. And create one intake channel for new requests with required fields, so work does not sneak in through side messages and hallway pings. When constraints are intentional, your system becomes predictable, and predictability makes incentives visible. Moving to slide 10. Your process will always bend toward what you reward. If you reward busyness, you get busy work. Reward cycle time and completed outcomes instead. How quickly valuable work goes from idea to shipped and adopted. Promote the people who create clarity, the ones who write crisp requests, define success, and unblock others, not just the loudest firefighters. Penalize avoidable rework by tracking its causes and making fixes part of the work, not optional cleanup. Celebrate killing low-value work early, because stopping the wrong thing is as valuable as finishing the right thing. And tie bonuses to outcomes customers feel, not internal activity counts. When incentives match reality, AI stops being a reporting tool and becomes a lever you can pull on purpose. Moving to slide 11. Here is a simple AI workflow you can run without making it a whole project. First, collect artifacts automatically. Tickets, PRs, meeting notes, incident logs, and handoffs. Then build a weekly input dashboard report that answers one question: where did time go? From that report, rank your top 3 bottlenecks. Not 10, 3. For each bottleneck, run one experiment only, small enough to finish in a week. Change a template, add a gate, remove a meeting, tighten an SLA. Then review results and adjust. Keep what moved the metric, drop what did not. You are not chasing productivity hacks. You are building a feedback loop that makes the right work easier to do. Moving to slide 12. When you ask what to fix first, do not start with what feels annoying. Start with what creates the most downstream drag. Look at the longest decision queues, where work sits waiting for a yes, a review, or a priority call. That is often a missing owner, unclear criteria, or too many approvers. Next, find your highest rework category. Bugs from unclear acceptance, designs redone after dev feedback, requirements changing after commit. Pick the category that repeats, and tighten the input that feeds it. Then check the most frequent dependency, the team or system you wait on every week. Your best move is usually to reduce touchpoints, bundle requests, define a contract, or create a self-serve path. After that, identify the biggest source of context switching, the channel that fragments attention, like drive-by asks, urgent pings, or half-baked tickets. Put a single intake lane in front of it, with a minimum bar for information. Finally, look for the most unclear intake type. If people keep asking, is this a bug, a task, or a feature, your taxonomy is broken. Fixing that one thing can clean up everything downstream. Lead like this, and the system starts protecting your team instead of consuming it. Moving to slide 13. Lead like a systems designer. Protect inputs daily by keeping one clear intake lane and pushing back on vague work. Ask for evidence calmly. Show me the queue time. Show me the rework rate. Then run a weekly system review so the process evolves with reality. Ship fewer things, finish them better, and let the metrics prove it. If you want more scripts like this, subscribe, and in the comments, tell me the single bottleneck you would rank number 1 this week. Tools evolve. Principles endure.